All right, Simbavati team, welcome. In this explainer, we are going to dive into everything you need to absolutely ace your Phase 1 quiz on core guiding techniques. Think of this as our final prep session, just to make sure you're feeling totally ready to go.
Okay, first things first, don't stress about this quiz. Seriously, this is really just a checkpoint, right? It's a chance for you to see and confirm all the amazing skills you've been building up. The whole point is to give you that rock-solid confidence you need when you're out there in the field.
So we're going to use your study notes as a roadmap here. We'll be covering these 5 key areas, and we're going to tackle the exact stuff that's on the quiz. So by the time we're done, you're going to feel totally prepared. I promise. All right, let's jump right into our first section. What we're doing here is setting the stage. And look, this isn't just about the quiz. It's about why these skills are so crucial if you want to become a truly world-class guide. So our goal here is pretty simple. We want to lock in a few key things. We're going to cover everything from vehicle positioning to those non-negotiable guest safety roles and, of course, communication. And here's the thing. This way, you won't just know the answers for the quiz, you'll actually understand the why behind them. That way, you'll be ready to apply them with real confidence on your next game drive. Okay, let's get into our first big topic, approach and positioning. Now, this is absolutely fundamental. It covers a bunch of key questions in your quiz, and honestly, this is where great guiding really begins. So let's just tackle a question that's pulled straight from your quiz, shall we? Why is it so important to position the vehicle correctly? I mean, it's way more than just stopping the car, right? It's a critical guiding technique. And here is the answer you're going to want to lock in. It's got 2 parts, and they're both equally important. First, it's all about the guest experience, giving them that perfect angle for photos. And second, and just as important, you are always making sure everyone in the vehicle is safe and that you're respecting the animal's space.
Okay, perfect. Let's build on that. So when you're approaching potentially dangerous animals, what's the #1 most important factor you need to be thinking about? This really comes down to your decision-making when it matters most.
The answer is basically a constant 2-step process. First off, you always start by keeping a safe, respectful distance. And from there, step 2 is to actively read the animal's behavior. You're constantly asking, is it relaxed? Is it alert? Because your next move is always based on how it reacts to you. Now, to read an animal effectively, you absolutely have to master this key concept, threat cues. So what are they? They're just the specific signs, the behaviors an animal shows when it's feeling stressed out or threatened by you being there. I'm telling you, spotting these cues is completely non-negotiable for a guide. And this right here is a perfect example of what to look for. And yep, you guessed it, this is another question straight from the quiz. So for a lion, the signs are super clear. The ears are pinned back, the head is held low, and the tail is flicking aggressively. You see that? You know it's time. Time to give it some space or maybe even back away nice and slow. Okay, so recognizing an animal's stress is one piece of the puzzle, but that knowledge flows right into our next section, which is all about safety and guest management. Because let's be honest, reading the animal is only half the battle, right? You also have to manage the humans in your vehicle. All right, let's talk about a classic scenario. This is one you will almost certainly face at some point. A guest drops their hat or their phone, whatever, right near a herd of elephants. What do? What's that immediate, correct response? Okay, the answer here is totally black and white. There's one and only one correct response. You have to politely, but firmly, explain to the guest why it's unsafe. No matter what, under no circumstances, does anyone get out of that vehicle to grab something near dangerous animals. Your #1 job is to protect the people, not the property. The hat is gone. Let it go. And look, this isn't just a friendly suggestion. It's a core rule, straight from the Simbavati guest briefing protocol. Remain on the vehicle at all times. That is your guiding principle. It's your mantra. Why? Because it protects your guests, it protects you, and it respects the wildlife. Simple as that. Okay, so before you even think about restarting the engine, there's a super simple 2-step procedure. First, you always give a clear verbal heads up. Something simple, like, okay, everyone, gotta start the engine now. It's a small courtesy, but it keeps someone from getting jolted while they're looking through their binoculars. And second,
You do a full 360-degree scan around the vehicle. You're checking for any other animals or even other vehicles that might have crept into your space while you were stopped. All right, moving on from just safety, our final core topic is all about how you shape the entire experience. And you do that through excellent communication and coordination. This right here is what separates a good game drive from a truly great one. It all comes down to how you interact with your guests and, just as importantly, with your fellow guides. A huge part of managing the guest experience is just explaining the why behind the rules. So let's say you need everyone to be quiet at a really sensitive sighting. How do you ask for that? How do you say it effectively so you don't sound like you're just barking orders? And here it is, the perfect way to phrase it, taken right from your study guide. Just notice how it's framed. It's positive, it's inclusive, it's not a demand, it's an invitation. You're basically framing silence as a way for us to get a better experience and to show respect. That's always going to be way more effective than just saying, "Be quiet." Okay, picture this. A leopard sighting crackles over the radio. The immediate temptation is to just floor it, right? But hold on. A professional guide always follows a plan. So what's the plan? 1. Confirm the exact location. 2. Assess if it's even realistic for you to get there with your current route and timing. And 3. This one's huge. You have to consider if it's what your guests even want. I mean, maybe they're totally fascinated by the little bee eaters you're watching right now. Yeah, this really gets to the heart of good radio etiquette. You have to remember, the radio is a tool for coordination, not for competition. When we use it properly, it means we can all share these incredible sightings without stressing out the animals or creating a bush traffic jam. That just ruins it for everyone. It's all about protecting that experience for every single guest out there. All right, we've covered the big three: positioning, safety, and communication. You've done the hard work, so now let's just do a quick final check-in, make sure you're feeling 100% ready to go. Okay, quick pop quiz. Can you recall those two critical factors when you're approaching a dangerous animal? Think back to what we talked about in section 2. The answer should be right on the tip of your tongue. That's it. Maintain a safe distance and constantly read the animal's behavior. You got it? Excellent. And for our last check, can you explain the why, the reasoning behind never ever retrieving a guest's dropped item? See, it's not enough to just say, "Oh, it's unsafe." The key is understanding that a wild animal's reaction to a person on foot is totally unpredictable. And that's what can turn a simple lost hat into a life-threatening situation in a split second. So just remember, everything we've talked about here, it goes way beyond just passing a quiz. You're becoming a custodian of this incredible wilderness. You are a creator of memories that people will have for the rest of their lives. You've got the knowledge. You are absolutely ready for this. Now, go show them what you know. Good luck out there.